In Where is the Line news.
Right here.
And we're jumping over it. Submitted by Husky 2001.
Oh, I love huskies.
Or does it mean
Or is he
fat
chubs?
guy?
Oh, true.
You both thought the same.
Well, they took the other one, so I'm like, I'm gonna take the other side of Husky.
YouTubers acting as amateur detectives call into question the ethics of the true crime trend.
So, do you guys know what the true crime trend is?
No, what
Yeah.
is that?
No, I'm so behind.
So, no, you know.
It's like that podcast Serial.
Exactly. So it all started
Oh, yeah.
with the podcast Serial back in
I'm-
2014.
Yeah, I like
Followed
cereal.
by Netflix's
Making the
original...
Myrtle?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brendan Daisy.
So, both of these programs are following these men that are being accused of murder, and so they're examining evidence to question whether they were guilty or not.
Okay.
So that's what these things are. And so now YouTubers, what they're doing is that they're posting like story time videos of when they
killed someone.
No, like their neighbor is a murderer, or like my neighbor got killed, or like things like that. Like they're posting up stories. Like for example, Shane Dawson, because they mentioned him in this article here, Shane Dawson posted one that's called "My Friend Got Life in Prison," and so
Oh, wow.
he's pretty much talking about the motives of a man who killed his uncle back in 2011. And so pretty much what he was doing here is he was revealing the name of the murderer and the victim. He showed off the murderer's Facebook profile and photos and messages that the murderer's childhood friends were sending. And he also speculated about his drug use, and he showed off old footage and yearbook photos of the murderer. And at one point in the video, he begins to read a message out loud from one of the murderer's friends, but then he ends up stopping himself and says, "I'm not gonna put in what she said out of respect for his family." And so a lot of YouTubers are making videos like this where now they're speculating, like, is this ethical? You know, like the fact that they're talking about like other people's families and like private information where you don't know how the family feels about you releasing this information.
Because they're not directly involved. They're just like, oh, I know this story.
Yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't it be equivalent to doxing? Like just.
Well, isn't this public information?
No, I mean like you're
Like, in a
putting
sense?
Well, you're okay. So yeah, maybe that public information, but you're also putting accusations without hard evidence, I guess. And then it's like pitchfork mob. They're gonna go after them. All the fans are gonna go after them and berate them and shit. But there's no
Well, that
proof that they
person's
actually
in
murdered him.
Prison. The murderers in
Yeah,
prison.
it's public info. That's what I'm like.
But I guess
I'm like,
here-
Oh, I thought it was like random. Like I think this guy murdered my. Okay, got it.
No, it happened.
That would suck. That's
Yeah,
what is that
that would
called?
be shitty.
But have you noticed,
Defamation.
there's this thing, and I will say Shane Dawson's a buddy of mine, so in full disclosure.
Oh, do you know about this?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But I've known of this trend, I guess. I've recognized it. But I just think it's interesting because YouTubers get held to such a different standard because people feel like they know us personally. Like, have you noticed that, like, if you do a video, say it's on a tragedy, and now you monetize this video, you guys are assholes because you monetized a tragedy and you're talking about a tragedy and you're taking advantage of a tragedy and you're making money off of it. But when Dateline fucking NBC talks about a murder from a high school town. They talk about the details of the case. They name all this bullshit. They go into the letter, probably actually read the fucking thing. And then they're like, and we're gonna cut to commercial, we'll be right back. And they fucking sell ads against it. Nobody gives a sweet shit because that's what you're used to. You grew up with that. That's a fact of life. But because we do it too,
You're sellouts.
you're sellout fucks and you're taking advantage of tragedy. Like every year on 9/11, every network, wall-to-wall coverage is playing back the planes shooting into the fucking towers. And then they cut to a Nestle ad. So spare me. Spare me this false equivalency. This.
Yeah, it might be their fan base because we're fortunate to have dope ass fans that just understand and like they
For
know
sure.
right now that the whole demonetization thing is happening. Everyone's kind of fucked. So if we just run ads on anything, JK News or whatever on our vlogs, they're cool with it.
But why wouldn't you be able to? This is what I'm saying. Like, because
They
sometimes.
might have like 10-year-old fans that just don't understand that are pissed off, and you know I don't
No,
know.
for sure.
not-
Like,
it's
it's like
not
sometimes even Phil has to do that. Like Phil DeFranco has to be
Oh,
like,
yeah, I
I'm not monetizing this one because I'm going to talk about this person. And I'm like, you can.
You should monetize anything you want.
Anything you want.
Yeah, it's your channel.
It's no different between you and the news media and any of these guys who are making money off of it. Newspaper, what do you think they do? They sell ads in their fucking.
Yeah, because it's his job to report.
Right.
So whether it's a tragedy or not, he's doing work. He might even do extra work because it's a tragedy. He has to do it like within a certain period of time. He has to rush. He has to get the right information, stop whatever. you know, maybe not even feed his baby for a minute because he has to do this shit.
Yeah, but see, now you get called out in the community by all these like people who have no talent. They just call out other YouTubers for bullshit. It's true.
That's true.
They don't do anything.
Fucking no talent. Are they YouTubers you're talking about?
Yeah. But then that's their whole fucking thing, right? Is that they talk about how other people suck.
Yep. And then they have like a collection of losers that like worship them that also go off and talk about and criticize
The
and talk
drama
shit.
channels.
Yeah.
All the drama channels, right? People, So that's what I'm saying. I think, and they're the first people to out the gate saying like, you're monetizing this, Phil or Shane or whoever or JK, and you guys therefore are bad people. While they monetize their
I just
video.
don't like people who clearly aren't paying your bills telling you how you should get your bills paid. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's why I do like our fans. They're actually they're proud
get
of us.
it.
They're proud of
They're
us.
happy
whenever-
when we
Yeah.
we can support ourselves.
and I love that.
It took some time, but yeah, they're good. Now they're really great.
If you're like blatantly obvious with it, they're like, fuck yeah, you're doing good. You know? I like that.
Yeah, but then, so what they're talking about here, though, is the fact that both of those shows, Serial and Making a Murderer, they've also been criticized for poor ethical practices with the families and the victims because they consider an invasion of their private grief. And so now they're saying that even though those shows were criticized, that at least they were made by professional journalists and filmmakers who had an understanding of both media law and ethics. And so there's this British journalism lecturer who researched ethics of tragedy reporting. And so this person, his name is Jackie Newton, he is saying that he is kind of troubled with this trend on YouTube talking about this like true crime stuff. Because he's saying that with the work that he's researched, the bereaved families, they understand the involvement that they have with the journalists in the tragedy and that they build up relationships with the trusted reporters. But then here on YouTube, it's like they're not talking to the families, they're not getting like actual facts, and they're just gossiping.
So they're not willingly consenting, yeah, you can please tell my story. It just so happens that this random YouTuber knows the story and now they're telling it versus like Serial, they're working with the journalists like day to day and they're like, okay, cool, you can tell my story and in fact, I'll give you more information on the story.
That seems like what's happening. But I guess in the case of Shane Dawson, that was his uncle. He is the family
Yeah,
that was
he's part of
affected
the
by it.
family.
Yeah, but then there are these other YouTubers, like one title says, "My neighbor was murdered," the full story, and this other one, "My friend is a murderer," live footage, story time, where they actually use real CCTV footage of a shooting in New York. And it's like ethical gray area.
It just kind of shows how desperate some YouTubers are, I feel like.
It's like those fucking story time people are like, oh, I went to jail, but it's like they played Monopoly and they were in jail for like a day. They were in the game.
like Pickwick?
Like there's always those shit ass storytellers for some reason have millions of followers. Like the title's always like, I was raped, and then it's like it's usually just like, oh, someone beat me in a game so bad that he raped me in that game. Like that's, you know, like people fall for it and they keep clicking on it. And it's like,
Yeah,
I'm pregnant. I thought I was pregnant this morning. I'm not.
it's so fucking
I had morning
shitty.
sickness, I thought, but it wasn't. I had a weird burrito.
Yeah. It's always some crazy fucking title and it's just like some watered down bullshit. Like your life is really boring, dude.
Yeah, even in this article, they mentioned that there was this popular meme making fun of this trend, saying like, Starbucks employee, I forgot your straw. Oh my god, give me a second. YouTuber. Story time, my Starbucks barista has Alzheimer's.
Yeah, like that shit. It's fucking crazy.
That's really funny and true.
And like they go on tours. I'm like,
What are they touring
what the
for?
fuck?
Oh,
do you
telling
do
these
with tours?
stories?
Yeah.
Oh my
And it's just
god.
them standing on stage telling stories to these dumb idiot teenagers that are like, oh my god, you're amazing. It's
But the
like,
teenagers just want to look. The teenagers just want to see the person moving in person. That's
Yeah.
it. They're not there to fucking hear anything entertaining or anything. These people aren't trained at that. They don't know how to do that. But so they're just there to sign a thing and like greet the fans and. I mean, it's like these little fuckboy groups who like just lip sync to
oh
music.
yeah, the ones who look at their boys and look at their camera like,
And and all they do, and they all live in a house together, and they all just like lip sync to music. They go on tour and just like dance around a stage while music plays, and they yeah, it's
weird. It's
unbelievable.
weird.
That's so crazy.
But it just shows you that that's the demand from the fans is not like to be entertained. It's just to see the person.
People are gonna continue doing what's successful and working for them. So like if they're getting a lot of views, they're gonna continue doing that. I mean, these murder mystery stories or whatever, if one person does it and it's starting to hit, is everyone else is just gonna follow suit.
Yeah, I don't know. Just don't know what the difference is between this and the fucking news. I guess because I don't respect the news either. Like as far as the way they
Yeah,
report
the
shit.
news is pretty shit.
Yeah, they act like they're all credible and they're just.
Because they're wearing suits,
Yeah.
you know, because they talk to two sources that maybe later on bomb out from the story. I don't know, man. And then, yeah, you're right. They will post up with the family and like be all like, you know, oh, we're gonna get this right, and then they fucking take a shit on the family's head.
Yeah.
Like, so who knows? Like, look at John and Patsy Ramsey, dude. They got raked
yeah.
through the fucking mud. While all these journalists were building rapport with them, like so,
Yeah,
I don't buy
yeah.
all this shit. Like these people will shoot you in the back for $20.
Yeah,
Like
it's all for the ratings.
Exactly.
They're just jealous because some kid in a fucking bedroom is getting more views.
and it's only for the ratings. Why do you think Dateline NBC every single week is about rape or about some college town murder or about it's always the most exciting stories. And it's like, oh, we have the story of this kid who's in a wheelchair, like in Alameda County, and it's like, well, that's not sexy.
It's so shitty because
No, even for us. When we do regular ass news like that, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody. We could make it could be the funnest conversation,
Yeah.
but no one clicks on that.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause-
but people,
And I don't want to keep doing fucking somebody got raped and murdered
Yeah.
news.
right.
it's so shitty because those reporters will like just take advantage of their grief. Like, so little 8-year-old boy, how do you feel about your mom getting blown in the face by a shotgun? How does that make you feel? You know, like, do you think Santa will bring?
They're trying to get them to cry and
Yeah,
shit. So
like,
then the people go,
what the
oh.
fuck? Yeah.
Did mommy say anything to you before she put the shotgun in her mouth?
Right? Like, just it's
That's
insane.
credible journalism right there.
But exactly,
Yeah,
like give me a break. These people are sharks.
Because he went to school for it.
Yeah, so Shane Dawson can't talk about how like a fucking hometown murder. Like, I don't know, but I don't know what the difference is.
Because I think either way, it's fucked up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
the
to an
bottom line
extent,
is like
either way the story.
exploiting people's grief, whether it's on YouTube or news or whatever, it's fucked up.
Well, I don't think it is that though. I think just reporting on something is not necessarily exploiting something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's just telling the story.
it's just telling a story, and then of course you have to make a living.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not criticizing the news for running ads, any more than I'm criticizing like Shane or any YouTuber for running ads. Like, it's the same thing to me.
I think telling a story is fine. Just don't fucking go and harass the family and like egg on like shitty ass reactions from the family, you know, or like throw them under the bus or anything. Reporting's fine because people need
Right.
to know the news. Just don't be shitty about it.